The Moons of Peril is a top tier boss for the mid-game player. It's solid GP, and honestly, it's one of the best places in the game to master all of the core movement mechanics that you'll need for endgame PvM. The Moons are a group of 3 bosses all in the same interconnecting dungeon. Defeating each one adds loot to the lunar chest, which you can loot at the end of a run. By the end of this video, you'll be elbow deep in that chest, getting your grubby little hands all over some spicy loot. Like all my guides, we're keeping things as simple as possible, just giving you everything you need to get your first kill. Then we'll go over a few extra tips to tighten up your runs and speed things along, before finishing with a full demo to put it all into practice and really hammer it home. But first things first, there's a bit of prerequisite info that you might need. Requirements, gear, and how to even get here. If you already know all of that and just want the mechanics, skip ahead, I won't be offended. The Moons are located in Neypotzli, a dungeon connected to the dwarven city of Cantorum, down in Varlamore. To get here, you've got a few options. You can teleport using a calcified moth, take the Quetzal system to either Cantorum or the Tiamat, or just use a pendant of 80s teleport straight to Ralos's Rise. Before you even think about starting the Perilous Moons, you'll need to finish the Perilous Moons quest. You'll actually get your first kill count during the quest itself, so if that's where you're at right now, don't worry, we'll help you get that first clear. I've got the quest requirements on screen now, but it's worth keeping in mind the recommended combat levels, especially if you're looking to grind out a few kills and not just get the quest done. Around 70 plus attack, defense, strength, hit points, and prayer is a good starting point. That'll let you wear proper gear, hit consistently, and more importantly, avoid getting comboed out like a mug. Now, the nicest thing about this place is that you don't need to bring any supplies. You can gather everything you need inside the dungeon. To do that efficiently, you'll want 50 plus in cooking, fishing, herblore, and hunter. I'll show you exactly how to use those skills in just a sec when we cover prepping for the fights. Alright, let's talk about gear. We've just established that we don't need any supplies thanks to the resources in the dungeon, but you definitely need some decent armor. I'm not talking about best in slot gear here, I'm going through the minimum viable options to have fun and not get slapped around. I could give you 1,000 options, but let's keep it simple. Defense is king here. Without it, you won't survive the mechanics. For the minimum standard, I'd go with Barrow's armor like Torag's, a Nezi helm, an Amulet of Glory, Barrow's gloves, climbing or dragon boots, a God blessing, dragon defender, a fire cape or obby cape, and whatever ring you've got, a berserker ring, a light bearer, or even just a warrior's ring. For your weapon, the best option to minimize switches is a Zamorakian Hasta. Each moon has a weakness. Eclipse is weak to stab, blue to crush, and blood to slash. The Zami Hasta can handle all 3 styles reasonably well. Just remember to change attack styles between fights. This is the weapon I'll be using. If you don't have a Hasta or would prefer to bring some switches, here are a few options. For Eclipse Moon, the Archon Blade or Dragon Sword works, Abyssal Dagger is a nice upgrade too, and Osmuntum's Fang is really good, but this is where it starts to get out of budget-friendly territory. I've got an extra tip for you if you want to bring a slow, heavy-hitting extra weapon on this phase, but it's a bit much to talk about whilst we're just going over the essentials. We'll go over this in the extra tips section at the end. It's a massive DPS increase. For Blue Moon, Glacial Tomotlis are perfect and super cheap. Dual Macahuitl are pricier and only a small upgrade. For Blood Moon, the Archon Blades, the Sulphur Blades, or even a trusty Abyssal Whip will do. Anything else that's decent here is just crazy money. If you bring a spec weapon, this is the boss where you want to dump those specs. Speaking of spec weapons, a DDS is fine if you're really on a budget. Burning Claws are also a really good budget option nowadays. They are fairly reasonably priced, I'd recommend picking them up. Let's talk about prep and supplies. Neypotzli is basically self-sufficient, everything you need is right here. That means you don't need to bring extra potions or food from outside, just your combat gear and an emergency teleport in case shit hits the fan. The campsites you build during the Perilous Moons quest are your home base. Each one has the tools you need to make potions, gather resources, and cook food. The stove even has a right-click make cuppa option that fully restores run energy. RIP stamina potions, cup of tea is now my best friend. For food, you've got options near the campsites, moss lizards and bream. Cooked moss lizards are a great choice because you can keep them raw in your inventory and cook as needed. Catch them in the Earthbound cabin by using a rope on the trappable rocks and scare them into the trap. Each lizard can give 1 to 3 pieces of food when cooked. Raw bream are found in the stream-bound cavern. Use a big net at the fishing spots east of the campsite and line it up with the stream for the best chance to catch. Potion-wise, you've just got one, the Moonlight Potion. This potion is a beast. It acts like a prayer potion and a divine super combat all in one. Pick some moonlight grubs from the grubby saplings, grind the grubs into paste with a pestle and mortar, mix it with a vial of water and you're good to go. Finally, the moonlight moths scattered around the campsites. Catch them at 75 hunter with a butterfly net or 85 barehanded to restore a chunk of prayer. This can save you from using those extra moonlight potions outside the boss fights. A quick heads up, anything raw or cooked, plus any unused moonlight potions, will be destroyed when you leave the area, so plan your prep, stack up, and get ready for a long grind. So, you're all geared up and you've got the food and potions you need. Let's talk about how these fights actually work. There are 3 moons: Blue, Eclipse, and Blood. Each has its own room and gimmick, but the base mechanics are identical. Protection prayers don't work here, so don't even bother. Thankfully, there is another way to mitigate damage. You'll fight on a ring of glowing symbols called glyphs. You see the circles on the floor? Every few attacks, the moon picks a new one to charge up. You need to follow the glowing glyph around. This is your safe space. Standing on a glyph doesn't block all damage, but if you're not standing on a glowing glyph, you'll get absolutely melted, so always stay on the active symbol and move clockwise when it switches. It swaps every 2 normal attacks, and whenever it hits the full or new moon symbol, you get a special attack phase. There's also a special curse for each moon, an effect that takes place every time you take damage. We'll go through these for each boss in a minute. The normal attack that you'll be using the glyphs to tank is a 3-hit combo. This attack gets stronger the more times it connects. If the first hit misses, the next 2 will too, so that's why high defense helps a ton. We'll break down all of the special attacks and effects down now, but first, if this video's already helping you make sense of the fight, do me a favor, hit like, drop a sub, and maybe comment what boss you want to see a guide for next. Every little bit of engagement helps me get these guides in front of more players, and I seriously appreciate it. Alright, first up, the Eclipse Moon. She's weak to stab attacks, so if you are bringing the weapon switch as advised, make sure you've got your stabby weapon acquired. Her curse makes your attacks glance. The more hits you take, the more your hits start glancing. Basically, you'll start splashing weak hits and hitting zeros even if you've got absolutely OP stats and gear. This is why tanky armor is so essential. Her 2 special attacks swap between laser dodging and clone parrying. For the Searing Rays attack, she spawns a massive glowing shield and pushes you behind it. It slowly rotates around the room while she tries to blast you with a ball of light. Stay lined up with the shield, walk when it moves, run if you fall behind. If you keep pace, you'll take 0 damage here. A great tip here is to make sure you have shift click to walk turned on in your settings. It's a lifesaver and super important to get used to for plenty of other content further down the line. 4th, the Clone Zone. She drags you to the middle, freezes you and spawns clones all around you. Each one takes a swing in turn. You've got to click towards them as they appear to parry the attack. Do it right and you'll deflect the hit and smack her back instantly for big damage. It feels weird at first, but super satisfying once you nail the rhythm. Once the clones are gone, she resets to normal, follow the glyphs, keep up the DPS and you're good. Next up, the Blue Moon. She's weak to crush attacks. This is where your big bonking weapons come in. Get those Neypotzlis on or whatever you've chosen to bring. Her curse basically freezes up your attacks. If you start taking hits, your next swing gets delayed until eventually it just takes friggin' ages for you to swing your weapon. It's not the end of the world, but you'll definitely feel it if you start eating too many hits in a row. She's got 2 specials, Weapon Freeze and Frost Storm. For the Weapon Freeze, she rips your weapon straight out your hands and traps it in a block of ice. 3 blocks spawn, look for the one that's glowing blue, that's the one you need to damage. You've got to punch the ice to break it, but you can only get 2 hits in before you need to move away from the shards that explode around you. Keep that rhythm going, hit twice, step out, repeat, and you'll shatter it in no time. Ignore it and she'll hit you for some big damage, so get it done ASAP. For Froststorm, 2 braziers at the end of the room go out and she starts summoning icy tornadoes. She heals whilst the fires are out, so your job is to relight both braziers whilst dodging the storms. Honestly, a lot of people just ignore this and brute force the phase. It's not overly punishing, but relighting them is good practice. And let's be honest, what else are you doing with the boring 20 seconds of downtime before the fight goes to the next phase? Finally, the Blood Moon. This one can be a real bitch, easily the hardest fight of the three. She's weak to slash attacks, so if you've bought those switches, don't forget about them. Here's her main thing. She heals whenever you take damage. That includes her auto attacks and any mechanics you mess up, so even small mistakes can make this fight drag if you're not careful. Her two special attacks are Blood Rain and the Blood Jaguar. For Blood Rain, she disappears and rains blood all over the arena. You'll see red pools forming on the floor. Don't stand in the shit on the floor. They hurt you and heal her. Stay moving and use this time to heal up if you have to. For the Blood Jaguar, she spawns a pack of Blood Jaguars and a square of blood pools. Just like the rest of the fight, you'll need to stand on the glowing safe glyph whilst dodging the blood pools and attacking the Jaguars just after they swing. It's super hard to explain this one, but honestly, just watch this clip a few times and try it out. You should get the hang of it. If they hit you, she heals, but if you hit them and don't take any damage, you'll heal instead. This is easily the hardest mechanic in the entire dungeon, but it's probably the most fun and engaging once you get the hang of it. That's all the basic information you need to get your first kill. You could struggle through now and learn the extra stuff through trial and error. If you want to just get your first kill for the quest, or you're not looking at grinding this long term, you're good to go. But if you want to tidy this kill up and squeeze out some extra efficiency, these tips could help you out. Bring a big hitting weapon. Remember the heavy hitting weapon we talked about in the gear section? The slow, big damage one? Save it for the clone phase on the Eclipse Moon if you want to melt her faster. Durok's Great Axe is best in slot here. A Barrel Chest Anchor or a Colossal Blade are great freebies from quests and minigames too. If you're cooking food from the dungeon, the rate or amount of food you get scales with your cooking level. You'll get more meat per lizard at higher levels and faster cooking times on the fish. If you're just here to make money, locking in on the Blood Moon is the best option. You don't have to defeat all 3 bosses to get loot from the Lunar Chest, and the loot from the Blood Moon is the most valuable, so just keep sending her. We'll go through a sped up full demo kill now to show you the most efficient route through the chamber and all of the fights in action. From the antechamber, head through the northeastern entrance into the stream-bound cavern. Grab yourself a brew if you need to restore run energy, and check the supply crates for any tools that you might be missing. Grab yourself some Moonlight Grubs and make 2 to 4 Moonlight Potions. These will give your melee stats a boost and restore prayer during your fights. If you've got 75 Hunter, you can also catch Moonlight Moths to top up your prayer whilst moving between bosses. Next, if you need food, fish some raw bream at the stream nearby and cook it. We're ready for the Eclipse Moon now. Alrighty then, so we're ready for the Eclipse Moon now. Let's go through that phase. This phase we've joined in straight on the clone zone. So all we have to do is click underneath the boss directly. The little yellow shadow is the best marker to use. Just spam click that a few times as soon as you've done your attack on the previous clone. Joining in the middle of this phase isn't the best because you do a lot of damage in this phase. As you can see, I've already done nearly half the HP, and we didn't hit every single clone because we spawned mid-phase. So that's not the best time to join, but it's all good. Right now, as you can see, I'm just following around the glyphs. So we can get 2 hits in, sometimes 3, depending on how efficient we are, I believe. And then we have to move on. So that's 1 hit, that's 2 hits, that's 3 hits, and then, cool, that's when we'd move. But we haven't had to move. We've been attacked by the next special phase, which is the shield phase. So just keep walking behind the moon, behind the big... I mean, it's the eclipse, right? It's the Eclipse Moon. So keep walking behind the eclipse. If you fall behind or make a mistake like that, just run and catch up. It's not a big deal. You will take damage if you're not behind the moon, but the damage isn't crazy at all. So don't worry about it. When you've done a full loop, you will just have to get on the glyphs. On the glyphs? On the glyph again. Once you're on the glyph, just keep damaging the boss. Hopefully you can finish him off. But if you don't manage to finish him off in this phase, don't worry, it's not a big deal. The next phase that we'll get, obviously, there's 2 special attacks, is the clone phase. And remember, we do huge damage in the clone phase. So by the time you've got 2 clone phases down, you will pretty much always finish this boss. There we go, 11 HP, and we hit a 0. Brilliant. But yeah, that's the Eclipse Moon. When you're done, you'll be teleported back to the Earthbound Cavern camp spot. Use this time to resupply your prayer with potions or moths, and catch and cook some moss lizards if you need to top up on food. Next, we'll be hitting up the Blue Moon Chamber to the east. Okay, so we've got the right combat style on, and we're entering the Blue Moon Chamber now. We'll be getting on the boss with our crush attacks and rotating around the glyphs. Remember, it won't always start like this. Sometimes you'll join in the middle of a special attack, but it's no big deal. He's come in with the first special attack here. It's the ice blocks with the frozen weapon. So we get 2 hits in, we step out, and we get back on the block. 1, 2, out, attack. 1, 2, out, attack. We don't need to go again because we've killed the thing. So just stand in the middle somewhere where the big spiky things can't hit you, and eventually the moon will spawn again. There we go. We are back on the boss. So we can use some claws here if we want to, because I've got the light bearer on, so I should have a bit of special attack for the blood moon again in a minute. Although this means I might not be able to show you the tornado attack. So if we do that and we kill this boss too quickly now, I will edit that in just a second for you. Yeah, he's dead. So Editor 10 Boot will show you the tornado phase now. So essentially, she will knock you into the middle, and you'll have to run to each end of the room, light up one of the flames whilst avoiding the tornadoes. If you know anything about running in RuneScape, you'll know that you don't take damage on the middle tile. You move like 2 tiles at a time. I go into this in a lot more detail in one of my other vids that I'll put a link to in the description for. But yeah, just run from end to end, avoid the tornadoes. If you do get hit, then you will need to turn your run energy back on because the tornadoes turns it off. But it is as simple as that. Once you've got both on, get back to the middle where it's nice and safe and get back in the cycle. After you finish her off, you'll pop back at the ancient prison camp spot. Take a breath, heal up, and prep for the final fight. It's Blood Moon to the east. Cool, so get that appropriate attack style on, change your weapon if you have to, and enter the arena. We've spawned in the blood phase, so we need to dodge that blood. It's just finished. So we're on the glyph. Start damaging the boss. As you can see, she's hitting me hard and healing up. This is why this fight can sometimes take bloody ages. So we'll bust out some specs whilst we can to deal that big damage. Just follow the glyphs around. You know, the same thing we've done at the other 2 bosses. It really is that simple until you get to the special phase. Here's the blood jaguars. So we want to get to the glyph as quickly as possible, damage the boss, and as soon as the boss hits us, we step onto where the blood was. And you can see that's healing me up nicely. The best way, like I said earlier, literally just watch me do this, get a feel for it. You will mess this up dozens and dozens of times before it finally clicks. If you've never done any PVM before, this is a super awkward bit to get done. Once that's done, just get on the glyphs as we've been doing this whole time and follow them around clockwise again. Like I say, this one can drag out. You know, those heals, 3, 16 plus 41. Like this fight can go on forever. But we're making pretty quick progress here. We should be able to just show you the final phase in a second now, and then finish her off pretty quick. Yeah, here we go. So this is the blood phase we just joined the start of. Literally, don't stand in the shit on the floor. I don't know how else to say it. If you see your blood spawning underneath you, move. The best thing to do is just to keep moving, and you're all good. That is the Blood Moon defeated. After she's down, you'll teleport back to the ancient prison camp spot once more. Finally, head south into the ancient shrine and grab all of your sweet loot from the lunar chest in the middle of the room. When you're ready for another run, loop back into the streambound cavern and just rinse and repeat. Moons is like a Vegas casino. It's an endless loop designed to keep you gambling for more. If you've stuck around this far, you should definitely be ready to grind out this boss and raid that lunar chest. If there's anything I've missed or you've got any extra helpful tips, please let me know in the comments. As always, a huge shout out to all of my channel members and Twitch subscribers. If you want an extra way to say thank you, supporting me there is massively appreciated. On YouTube, we've got Omega0240, Matt J, Paul Cisneros, Jackson97, Papa Indigo, Bendat Cole, Chisomni, Stanley Tubrick, Phone Wifey, whatever this symbol is, Jalti Oxbow, and Alexander B. On Twitch, we've got Paratas, Drunken Sailor, Big Redness, Quisitor, Gold Rocket Gamers, Jarpy, A Beef the Mouse, Ye O'Connor, Waffle Zig, Tiggle Bitties, Matt3139, Revens2424, PJ Fry 8338, DNA Dinny 11, Raw, Snackins, Sunglasses Killer, Larry, Exixel, Picky Waffle 4, White Lotus, Keijo Costo, Panda Man, Inquisitorus, Rotating Phaser, Hapler, Iron Antwa, Jeremy, Scuba 3, Discovery, Chisomni, Crookaducus, Unbuckled Kilt, Buddy V, Man Lanters, Omega 0240, Bud Code, and Tron. All of you guys are absolute legends. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.